The next hadith قال حدثنا حجاج بن منهال قال حدثنا شعبة قال أخبرني علي بن ثابت قال سمعت عبد الله بن يزيد عن أبي مسعود رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال عن أبي مسعود رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا أنفق الرجل على أهله يحتسبها فهو له صدقة. إذا أنفق الرجل, if the man spent أنفق على أهله, on his family, and the أهل is usually in this context means the person's wife and children and his dependencies, and sometimes it means his wife, and the wife can be mentioned in the plural tense, but أهلي is أهل, right? His wife is his أهل or his wife's, right? إذا أنفق الرجل على أهله, on his family, يحتسبها, there's a word here which is why the hadith is here, يحتسبها, that means he is الحسبة, when you count something, to be something, you consider it something, right? So this is another deed to be done. He's spending from his wealth on his family, this is a good deed. But if he seeks the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while he's spending from his wealth on his family, فهو له صدقة, this will be charity for him. Does it have to be that every time the person spends on his family, he has to consider this as a good deed and he's seeking rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or every time he spends on his family, it will be a good deed? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful. As the ulama, they say, the more you seek rewards and every time you spend, the more rewards you get. And if a person is already in this way of life that he's spending from his wealth for his family, for the sake of Allah, of course not in haram, not in extravagance and whatever, then definitely this is a good deed. But as Umar radiallahu anhu, there's an authentic statement from him saying, احتسبوا أعمالكم, seek rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with regards to your actions, because if you make ihtisab with regards to your amal, فهو زيادة في الأجر. He said that it's more reward for you. So this makes it easy for us to understand. So if a person is already doing the good deeds, he's already for the sake of Allah. If somebody asks him, it's for the sake of Allah. But he's not focused at this moment when he's paying, at the store, that this is, counting this for the sake of Allah. He will still get the reward, inshallah ta'ala. But if he at that moment and at all times when he's spending, he's seeking rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is ajr, a reward for al-ihtisab as a separate ibadah. So al-ihtisab is ubudiyya by itself. The ubudiyya of al-ihtisab. This is ubudiyya. This is an act of worship that many people, they forget as a result of forgetfulness, right? So this is something that needs to be revived. This is a separate ibadah that a person is seeking rewards from Allah. This is a deed done by the heart. So he will continue to do whatever he's doing, but he is doing something with his heart, and that is the seeking rewards from Allah. فَهُوَ لَهُ صَدَقَةً, this is a charity, a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him. And the last hadith in the chapter, قال حدثنا الحكم بن نافع قال أخبرنا شعيب عن الزهري قال حدثني عامر بن سعد عن سعد بن أبي وقاص, and this is the son, the father to the son, أنه أخبره أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, إنك لن تنفق نفقة تبتغي بها وجه الله إلا أجرت عليها حتى ما تجعل في في امرأتك. Which means, إنك, the Prophet ﷺ was telling him that indeed you would never لن تنفق, and لن till forever, الاستقبال forever, right? That nothing will change this ruling. That you would never spend نفقة, whether it's small or big. And نفقة is nakira, that means تفيد العموم, as they say. All general types of spending. Any spending, even if it's something small. تبتغي, but with the condition, تبتغي بها وجه الله. تبتغي, you seeking by this نفقة, by this spending, وجه Allah, the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. This is something for a believer to seek. For the believers will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. And it also can be referred that you seek the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the wajh, the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can be referred to as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without denying this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a valid thing for it to be mentioned in some context, but without denying this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Musa alayhi salam, وَلِتُصْنَعَ عَلَى عَيْنِ, and for you to be made عَلَى عَيْنِ, literally under my eyes, right? أو تجري بأعيننا, the ark of Nuh, that it's running by our eyes, right? It's not literally, of course, right? So it's okay in the tafsir. The ulama would say it means under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You would say that to your children too, right? Or you're under my eye, or you are in my eyes. If a person will do this, right, it doesn't mean that if it's explained this way, it's fine, but without denying that this is an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has eyes, nothing is the like of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so on. So the same thing, seeking the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking to see the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment, which is nothing for the believers more rewardable than this, إِلَّا أُجِرْتَ عَلَيْهَا, unless you will be given the reward for it, إِلَّا أُجِرْتَ عَلَيْهَا. And then the Prophet ﷺ, to make it very clear, to the extent of which حَتَّى مَا تَجْعَلُ فِي فِي مَرَاتِ, even what you make in the mouth of your wife, what you put in the mouth of your wife, from food, a morsel of food, this is a rewardable act. This is a good deed. So even if it's something small like this, as the Prophet ﷺ said, and this is one of the intentions to get married. Right? This is one of the intentions a person will seek reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get married, to do these things. Because this is an act of worship. If you count the different types of good deeds that a person would get if he gets married, so many. One of which is you would find life is wasted if a person doesn't get married, unless a person is not able to. That's something else. So to have the intentions that he wants to get married to save himself from haram, to fulfill the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and to do these things, feeding his wife, buying things for the house, and so on. All of this would seek and reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the best charity, because this is a mandatory charity only. And this is all part of al-Iman.
If you make the intention to get married,
I know that this question is going to come from
if you make the intention,
if
you make the intention to get married and end up not getting married, like God forbid dying, would you get the reward of have been married if you had made the intention to get married?
Anything that a person has the intention to do, and he was sincerely taking the means, and he was prevented from it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them according to his intentions. This is anything. Whether it's marriage, whether it's, as you said, if a person have the intentions to memorize the Quran, and he starts, and he takes every day one word, right? When he dies, if he dies after just, few times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful. You can get the reward of someone that finished the Quran, as they say, النية أبلغ من العمل. Your intention reaches far more than your action. And that's the easiness of the deeds done by the heart, and it's the most difficult at the same time. It's so easy because you're physically limited, but your heart's no limits to it. You can go anywhere, you can go east and west, you can go to Hajj and Umrah, not like what the Sufis say, when you can go to, no, that's not what it means, but if it's time for Hajj, and you have the intentions, you wish that you can be there, right, sincerely and so on, and you are deprived from going there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you according to your intentions. So this is definitely in anything that is the intentions goes beyond one's actions. Then the last chapter in the Kitab al-Iman, and as we said, the Imam Albukhari rahimahullah, his way of putting the chapters together and the order of it is an amazing one. Even the last chapter, you see the orders of the Hadith and the order of the words in the title. He put the words of the title باب ما جاء إن الأعمال بالنية, we did by the intentions. والحسبة, حسبة is seek rewards. ولكل امرئ ما نوى, and for every person what he intended. When the ulama explained the title, why didn't he say باب ما جاء إن الأعمال بالنية ولكل امرئ ما نوى والحسبة? That makes sense this way. All the niyyah together and then the hisbah. But he put the hisbah, or seeking rewards, in between the two sentences that talks about niyyah, and he made the hadith like this. The first hadith, al-amalu bin niyyah, because the first sentence in the title, al-amalu bin niyyah. Then the second one was about the hisbah, right? And then, إنما الأعمال بالنية, what's after that? It says maybe the third hadith, Allah knows best. And it's not many had mentioned this, but why the order like this with the order of the hadith? Then the last chapter is باب قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الدين النصيحة لله ولرسوله ولأئمة المسلمين وعامتهم وقوله تعالى إذا نصحوا لله ورسوله. He says the title, the chapter of the statement of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, الدين النصيحة, the deen is النصيحة, and we said the nasiha is the concern of the heart towards the subject of النصيحة, إرادة الخير للمنصوح له. Right? This is what النصيحة, this is the real meaning of النصيحة. Not advice to be said by the tongue, it's wanting good for the subject of the nasiha and have that concern to Allah and to His Messenger. And how it's to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by having the concern in the heart that you want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, be obedient to Allah, and so on. وَلِرَسُولِهِ, to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, by following his sunnah, and so on. وَلِيَئِمَّةِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَعَمَّتِهِمْ, to the leaders of the Muslims, by advising them, by making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them to be guided, and so on. وَعَمَّتِهِمْ, and the masses of the Muslims, to have the concern towards them. وَقَوْلِ تَعَالَى إِذَا نَصَحُوا لِلَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, and the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the believers, those who would stay behind without going out fighting for the sake of Allah, that this is permissible for them if they have an excuse, إِذَا نَصَحُوا لِلَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, if they have the concern to Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, meaning being applying the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this hadith is not from Albukhari. Deen Nasiha is not from the Bukhari hadith. This is in the title only. Right? So whoever says the hadith of Deen Nasiha, and they said this is by Bukhari, is wrong. Sahih Muslim, it's authentic hadith, but it's not narrated by Bukhari. And that's why there is a hadith that he would bring in his title, authentic hadith. All the hadith that he brings in his title, they're all authentic. And this is also more benefit that he would bring in the titles, but it's not from his hadith al-musnada, the chain hadith that is mentioned in his book. So that's why he mentioned the hadith in the book. قال حدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا يحيى عن إسماعيل قال حدثني قيس بن أبي حازم عن جرير بن عبد الله قال بايعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على إقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة والنصح لكل مسلم. Jarir ibn Abdullah was one of those who embraced Islam last. And he said, بايعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, I made the bay'ah, the pledge of Islam, to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, to establish the salah and to give the zakat, والنصح لكل مسلم, and to have the nush to كل Muslim, to have the nasiha to every Muslim. This is what they used to have the pledge on when they're embracing Islam. And that means the concern towards every Muslim, to be there for the Muslims, to help them, to advise them, to enjoin good and forbid evil, and so on. So this is what they used to give the pledge to the Prophet ﷺ, and it shows that the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, which is obligatory for every Muslim, what made them surpass all of the Ummah, right, is not necessarily the physical actions. Physical actions, ibadah and so on, you might hear or read among the tabi'een, some of them were just much more in physical actions of ibadah. But the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, nobody can come into their level. Why? Mainly because what's in their hearts. And of course the physical actions, but mainly what's in their hearts, as it was said about Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu did not, in his physical actions, he was not doing more than the rest of the Ummah, right? The righteous and so on. But they said why he surpassed his Ummah, بِشَيْءٍ وَقَرَ فِي قَلْبِهِ, by something that was present in his heart, right? His total submission, his love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his intentions and and one of which they said is النصح لكل Muslim, to have this concern towards every Muslim. Then the last hadith, this is the last chapter, and within the last chapter, the last hadith that has benefit that he mentioned it as the last hadith in كتاب الإيمان. He says حدثنا أبو النعمان قال حدثنا أبو عوانة عن زياد بن علاقة قال سمعت جرير بن عبد الله يقول يوم مات المغيرة بن شعبة, on the day when المغيرة بن شعبة رضي الله عنه, he died, and he was waliyan على الكوفة, he was in charge of الكوفة in Iraq in the Khilafah of Muawiyah رضي الله عنه, and he died on the year 50 of Al-Hijrah, after the Hijrah of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. So when he died, and the day that he died, قام فحمد الله وأثنى عليه. He stood up and he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, said Alhamdulillah, and to introduce his speech with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Alhamdu wa athna alayhi, and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said, وقال عليكم باتقاء الله وحده لا شريك له. He said, عليكم, on you is to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be dutiful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the Amir, right? He's addressing his people, and he's one of the great companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So he's telling them, عليكم باتقاء الله, you should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be dutiful to Allah, وحده لا شريك له. He's the one, no partner with him. والوقار والسكينة حتى يأتيكم أمير. والوقار والسكينة. الوقار is to be calm, right? Calmness that gives you, brings respect in others. When a person is jumping and things like that, he loses the respect, right? But when he's calm not that makes him in a negative way, calm that brings respect to people. So al-waqar was sakina, have tranquility. حتى يأتيكم أمير, till Amir comes to you. Because people, if they don't have an Amir, what happens? It's fawda, it's chaos, right? And as one of the early generations of Islam, he said, the meaning of which 60 years with Amir zalim, with an unjust Amir, is better than one day without Amir, right? It's not to praise the zalim, never, right? No one would ever praise the zulm and injustice, but it's one versus another, one evil versus worse evil. So when people want it to be chaos, right, this is worse evil than having someone unjust to be in charge of it. So that's why he told them حتى يأتيكم أمير, and it's never in the deen of Islam you would find the way of the Sahaba رضي الله عنهم how to deal with the zulm, the injustice of the Amir, is to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, and not to cause chaos and fitan and tribulations, right? And it's always the case in the history. When Hassan al-Basri, they came to him and they complained to him of the zulm of al-Hajjaj. Al-Hajjaj kills and he doesn't care about nothing, too much zulm. And he advised them to be patient, because this is a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not darwasha, as some people would say that. These are people that understand the text and the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, because they follow the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And when they went to him to ask him, and he's the alim and he's that, they left and they said that they started saying bad words about him, that he is, he's not a good person. And those people that was with him, and they went out and they started fitna, all of them, they were killed, and there was no benefit, right? So anyway, so he told them to be patient till the Amir comes to you. فَإِنَّمَا يَأْتِيكُمُ الْآنِ, he will come to you now. ثم قال, then he said, استعفوا لأميركم. استعفوا, seek العفو, اطلبوا العفو. استعفوا, seek عفو, seek pardoning to your Amir. Forgive him, forgive your Amir. You see how these leaders used to be. He's asking his people to seek forgiveness for him. فإنه كان يحب العفو, because he used to love al-'afw, he used to love to pardon people and to forgive them. ثم قال أما بعد, then he said after the introduction, أما بعد فإني أتيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, I went to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, قلت أبايعك على الإسلام. He said to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, I want to give you the pledge to be a Muslim. فشرط علي والنصح لكل مسلم فبايعته على هذا. He said, the Prophet ﷺ took a condition from him. The condition, that means he would not accept his Islam till he made the bay'ah, the pledge also, وَالنُّصْحِ لِكُلِّ Muslim. to have the nasiha to every Muslim, the concern towards every Muslim. And you see how important that is. فَبَيَعْتُ عَلَى هَذَا, I give the pledge on this. And when they give the pledge on something, that means it never changes till they die. Then he says, وَرَبِّ هَذَا الْمَسْجِدِ إِنِّي لَنَاصِحٌ لَكُمْ ثُمَّ اسْتَغْفَرَ وَنَزَلَ. He said, وَرَبِّ هَذَا الْمَسْجِدِ, by the Lord of this masjid, indeed I am ناصح لكم, I am concerned towards you. I have the goodness and so on towards you. ثُمَّ اسْتَغْفَرَ وَنَزَلَ. Then he asked forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he went down. Right? So this, on the day that he died, radiallahu anhu, and he was the leader. The Hajar rahimahullah, he said, that Albukhari rahimahullah, he made this hadith the last hadith in Kitab al-Iman with the matter of al-Nasiha, as if he is saying with this hadith that he acted according to this hadith, in ordering you, in advising those who would read his book and so on, to follow the authentic hadith and not the weak ones. Right? And then he ended it with the khutbah of Jarir that has this, فَإِنَّمَا يَأْتِيكُمُ الْآنِ. That means what comes after this book now it's coming to you now. You know, it's kind of going deep into what that's what he says. فَإِنَّمَا يَأْتِيكُمُ الْآنِ إِلَى وُجُوبِ التَّمَسُّكِ بِالشَّرَائِعِ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ مَنْ يُقِيمُهَا. That you need to hold fast to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala till the time comes for someone that will establish it. إِذْ لَا تَزَالُ طَائِفَةٌ مَنْصُورًا وَهُمْ فُقَهَاءُ أَصْحَابِ الْحَدِيثِ is since there will always be a victorious group, which is the fuqaha, the people of knowledge of Ashab al-Hadith, those who would defend the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and they have the knowledge of al-Hadith. And then by his statement when Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah, he said, "Ista'fu li amirikum," ask for forgiveness for your Amir, as if he's saying that for his own self. He wants people also to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him. ثم استغفر ونزل, he made istighfar and he went down, as if like this is to end the chapter. And then after that he has the Kitab al-Ilm, or the book of al-Ilm, which is the real nasiha. The real nasiha is to seek the knowledge and what comes after it from all the subjects of matters of the deen. So as if all of what's from the beginning, this is like the introduction, this is the foundation of what the deen is. You have to start with the wahy. That's why Kitab Bid al-Wahy, you have to start with the wahy. This is what the whole deen is all about, is the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to follow the wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then al-Iman, which is the foundation. No goodness unless a person has the proper belief of al-Iman, the understanding of it. And then this was the foundation is there. Then you talk about matters of ilm, so that the person will have the intentions and the right way to seek what comes after that. And if a person is living his life according to the sequence, if then after that the kitab of the tahara and the wudu and the salah, submission. He's finished with all of these introductions, he's ready to submit himself to the rulings and the ahkam and the halal and the haram. Inshallah next time, since we're doing kitab al-ilm somewhere else, then we'll do the kitab after the kitab al-ilm.